Hi again everyone, and welcome if you're new. It's Hayley here at Raising Blooms. It is 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, so I'm sat here. It's rather early. I'm going to head down to the allotment and do some trimming. That's my plan. I just want to crack on for about an hour and just get some trimming done, because I've got a busy day today. There's a garden project that I want to be getting on with today, so I just want to keep the time at the allotment to a minimal today. So I can come home and be excited about starting a garden project. The project is what I mentioned in last week's video. I'm going to be dismantling the compost area at the back of the garden and hopefully creating some raised planters in that zone with the pallets, because I've got quite a few pallets up there. So yeah, we're going to start that little project today. The weather is glorious already. We've had literally no rain now, I think for about a month, which of course is making things a little bit tricky in the garden, especially because we are also in the middle of a hosepipe ban. Have you got a hosepipe ban where you are too? And what's the weather been like for you? How are things in your garden? How are things growing? How does your garden grow? And what is the weather doing where you are? Yeah, the weather has been beautiful, and we do love to complain about the weather here, don't we? So whether it's raining or it's not raining, we enjoy complaining. I'm really sorry about the sunshine. There we go. Yeah, so hosepipe ban, no rain for about a month. So I've been filling up watering cans. The garden is grateful every time I do that. I mean, it is a bit of a slog, but it always bounces back the next day. It just looks so much more refreshed. So it's always worth the long job of filling up watering cans and going around the garden. I'm sure there's people that don't have hose pipes and have to do that as well. I'm pretty sure my neighbour uses watering cans for their garden all of the time. But yes, so that's my plan today. Going to head down to the allotment. It is now, must be about 8:30 now. I don't know what time is reasonable to start trimming. My allotment is kind of tucked out the way, but there are obviously houses in the close vicinity, so I don't really want to be a nuisance, but I do need to get the job done. My trimmer's not that loud. By the time I get up there, it'll be 9:15 maybe. So yeah, that's today's little plan, and that will be featuring in the vlog today. Some garden jobs, but mostly my project at the back of the garden, and a little visit to the allotment as well. Check on my pumpkins actually. Are you growing pumpkins? How are your pumpkins doing? I think I've definitely lost one of my jack-o'-lanterns, so I planted 6, and the last time I checked, it looks as though 5 are doing well and one of them is not. But yeah, let's go and see how they're doing. It's been a week. It's been a week since I've been up there. So the one good thing about having 0 rain is that it's not, the allotment is looking rather dry, and the grass isn't, taking over. So, but the brambles definitely are. They don't mind. They can survive without rain. Like a lot of the weeds, they just seem to survive without rain. Bindweed being another one. Bindweed and brambles. Anyway, let's go and crack on with today's jobs. So I've just arrived at the allotment. It's not looking too bad. I don't think it will take me too long just to go over it quickly with the strimmer. It's not too hot actually. Like, there's a few clouds in the sky and it's a nice temperature, so I won't get too uncomfortable doing this job. If you can see behind me, I think my allotment neighbour a couple of weeks ago done a bit of a fire to burn the brambles just here. We noticed it when we arrived, not last week, the week before, and actually it was still smoking. I haven't seen him since, but I think it's to kill the brambles, I'm assuming anyway. But yeah, quite risky with such dry weather, but thankfully it's clearly done the job. I'll go and take you over there and show you. So yeah, this is where he's burnt the brambles, I think, you know, to try to help keep his pathway clear to his plot. The pallet fence thing that we put up there, the gate for him, keeps falling down because there's no longer the brambles there to support it. Over here, of course, brambles means blackberries, so the kids are going to enjoy coming up here in a week or so when all this is covered with blackberries. In fact, the entire surround of the plot will be covered with blackberries. Pumpkins, let's go check the pumpkins. They're flowering now. Well, oh, the one that I thought was dying is flowering. I thought that one there was not doing too good because its leaves have all gone brown at the bottom, but actually it's got a flower on it. They're all starting to do their thing. Obviously I was probably a bit late putting them in, really. I'm sure some people are much more further ahead with their pumpkins. They do need a drink, don't they? Especially that one, that poor guy over there, looks like he's suffering. These ones are my cheeky curry, and there's a courgette in there as well. The pond is probably drying out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, but all of that duckweed in there. And yeah, so this is the plot that I'm going to strim today. Get something done. At least I'll feel better that I am maintaining it. The farm fields next door to the allotment will all grow in peas this year. I don't know if that's for animal feed or what, but we watched them harvest, and then the next day they were all baled up. So we got some really lovely photos and had a nice walk during the week. I might show you some footage. I think I've done all the trimming that I can do. Here I realised that I haven't got any spare strimmer wire, but it really wasn't looking too bad. Obviously I've got quite a lot of brambles that are coming back through, but I have strimmed the majority of the grass and weeds that are around the bed, so I've tidied that up. And I know I said that I was going to let the kids come up and fill their buckets with blackberries, which I certainly will, but I had to pick a few myself because I need to test them first, don't I? Let's test them. Let's go for this big one. Very sweet. I would say they're more than ready. The kids are going to be very excited to come and pick these. One good thing about having brambles all over the plot, plenty of blackberries. A little apricot coming along. Hope it doesn't fall off. Don't have that many, but there's a few. There's one. There's one. I don't know if the birds will try it. In fact, there's quite a few. Oh, not bad. An apricot tree. The plums, on the other hand, do not look too great. I mean, I don't know if I'll get any decent ones from this tree. But apricots, rather exciting. If you've been watching my vlogs, you might remember that we had an old dead cherry tree just here by the stream. Well, it gave way during the week and fell down into the stream, so we had to cut the rest of it down, and because of that, this forsythia, which was leaning on the tree, has kind of collapsed as well. So I'm just giving it a bit of a prune. I know it will probably sacrifice next year's flowers, but I do need to think of some way of supporting this forsythia now that cherry tree is gone. And also I've got this climbing rose as well that I did plan to scramble up the cherry tree, so I think we might have to put a post or an arch or something here. Looks a little bit tidier now. This is the compost area currently. Well, it was designed to be a compost bay, but it's actually just a big mess really. I'm sure there might be some compost underneath all of that, but what I plan to do is just create 3 or 4 raised planters there instead out of all that wood, hopefully. And I say I loosely. What I mean is we, my husband, we'll do the job together. I'm just using the loppers now to trim back some of these overhanging branches of the cotoneaster. Obviously I want to try to grow some vegetables in the beds in this section, so I'd like to try to minimise the amount of shade that's in this area, so this could really do with a haircut. I am really just trying to pass time, waiting for my husband to come out and help me, to be honest. Ah, look, and here he is, to the rescue. So dry.
It's been so dry and airy. This is a bit better.
We're just trying to figure out whether we've actually made any compost in the 3 years that we've had this pallet bay here. Turns out that we have. At the bottom, I mean, it had started to break down. It wasn't proper compost yet, but not bad. Once we'd cleared out what we could, it was time to unscrew the sides of the pallet bay and start breaking apart these pallets so we can repurpose them for my lovely new veg beds. As is always the way when breaking pallets, some come away lovely and easy and others just break. It's luck of the draw. We thought the best idea was to fill some bags with the good stuff down at the bottom of the heap so that I can add this closer to the top when it comes to filling the beds, because there's obviously quite a lot of sticks and twigs and things from the top of the pile that are nowhere near broken down yet. So I don't really want to have this good stuff all stuck at the bottom. So that was my plan. I filled up a few rubble sacks so that I could add to the top of the beds. Hi. Hello. Things have to look a mess before they look better, right? Well, would you look at that? Bed number 1 done. Well, technically it's 2 beds, so just another like this to go and we're complete. I'm just so happy with this. I cannot wait to get growing in it. Last week I collected the seeds from my foxgloves and sowed them into this seed tray, and I had a lovely surprise when I walked into the greenhouse earlier and saw these beautiful little seedlings that have all germinated, looking rather crowded, but just look at that, my own seeds from the flowers in my garden, and look, lots of tiny baby foxgloves to come. And while we're on the subject of sowing seeds, today I am also going to sow these beautiful hollyhock seeds, ready to flower for me next year because they are biennial. So by sowing them this year, they will flower for me next year. I have a couple of trays here with some moist multi-purpose compost in them, and underneath these trays that have drainage holes, I have some trays that do not have holes, and they are also filled with water so that the compost can stay nice and moist, and hopefully that will encourage the seeds to germinate for me. So I'm just scattering them thinly across the top now. The good thing about hollyhock seeds is that they're rather large and easy to see on the top of the compost, so you know exactly where you're putting them, unlike some seeds where you just scatter and hope for the best. A bit like those foxgloves that I showed you, hence why they are sown so thickly and close together. We won't have this problem with the hollyhocks. I'm hoping to sow plenty of these and have lots germinate, because not only do I plan on growing them in the back garden, I would also really like to have a few of these dotted in between my rose hedge and my salvias at the front of the house. I just think hollyhocks are just absolutely beautiful and such classic cottage garden flower. I just think tall spires of hollyhocks will look beautiful in between my roses, and I particularly really like this lemon variety. I think the yellow with the pink roses and the purple salvia at the front would just look beautiful, I hope. Of course, we mustn't forget the all-important labels. Let's always remember to label these guys, because if you're anything like me, you're going to forget what you sowed where. If you are still here and watching till the end, as always, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed what you saw, please don't forget to give it a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and then you'll be notified when I post up any new videos. And in the meantime, take care, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.